You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here's your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Well, good Monday morning, everybody. I am Glenn the Geek in Ocala, Florida.
And I'm Jamie Jennings in Norman, Oklahoma. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Monday, March 10th, episode 3643, brought to you today by WERM Flooring. And everybody gets to ride after work now. Woohoo! Good morning, horse people.
I have good news and bad news for you on this Monday morning. First, the bad. It's Monday. But the good news is really good. Jamie and Glenn are here to guide you through another week filled with horse talk and a whole lot of fun. Welcome to Horses in the Morning.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a full show planned for you today. We're going to hear about the adventures of doing a TV show with Summer Redden of Riding with the Reddens. We also have Lisa Wysocky on. It's kind of TV movie day. Lisa Wysocky is currently on location in Lexington, Kentucky, scouting for the first movie about her books. And she's going to talk to us about what she's up to. She said she'll be out and about this morning when we call. Plus, we have some Equestrian First World problems. And then in the Auditor post show, I'm going to make Jamie get serious. We're going to talk a little bit about podcast legacy. I went to Neil's funeral service yesterday, and this came up and it got me thinking, so I thought we'd talk about that. But we don't do politics much on this show or at all, but when it directly involves the horse world, we do. And there's a new bill in Florida two identical bills actually, that would take local control of development from cities and counties and make it state run. What that means is it would override all the farmland preservation stuff. That's in, like Ocala has their own farmland preservation, because Ocala is being built up like crazy. The only thing stopping all the farms being taken over is this farmland preservation group. And basically the state would run that and they wouldn't care. And so, and they also, this bill proposes no restrictions on minimum lot size or maximum density of any land development, which means put 1,000 houses in. I don't care.
Why is money so important to people that they can't look and see the future? I am dealing with this exact thing, Glenn.
Are you? Yeah, really?
Yeah, oh, yeah. So they are, and I'm sorry to jump in. I'm really sad about that for Ocala. That is terrible. Here we have a turnpike that they're proposing that was going to go near the Lake Thunderbird. And they're like, wait, we can't put it near the lake. That's a watershed issue. So now they're like, let's move it 2 miles. It's also a tourist issue. Yeah. Well, let's move it 2 miles west. Do you know what 2 miles west of the lake is?
Your house?
My house.
Really?
Yes. And of course, it'd be like a mile wide to have all the easements and everything like that. So I'm either going to have a turnpike at this point through my yard, or I'm going to border a turnpike. And Patty, our other listener, is going to have a turnpike in her yard. So it's terrible. So I went crazy. I was like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. We have a meeting Wednesday, like a big community meeting at the local elementary school. I'm going to start going to all this stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take action. I don't understand what's going on. I was like, we just had a new election here in Norman for a mayor. So I looked up online and I found his, the mayor's, where they're trying to get elected, like their website to promote his election and all that. And so they had a number on it. So I called it and I was like, hi, my name is Jamie Jennings and I live on Lindsay. And they went through the whole thing and I just left a voicemail and I was like, I don't know why you would ever call me back, but if you do, here's my number. And just so you know, there's just a whole lot of us that are freaking out and we would like to know. Do you know what?
They called
2
back?
hours later, the mayor of Norman called me back. Yes. Steve Holman is his name. And he's like, save my number. He talked to me so long that I was the one who had to get the phone call to end. I was like, okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, thank you. But he opposes it. Everybody in Norman opposes it. Everybody opposes it. He was like, however, you have to go to the state government, and the governor does not oppose it because all those people have spent millions, like there's millions of dollars exchanging hands under the table for all of this BS. There's no reason
I guarantee you there's already been $100 million spent on studies.
Yes. And I'm 5 miles from I-35. Like it literally makes if you look at a map of Norman, to put a turnpike over my house is the dumbest thing ever. It makes 0 sense. 0 cents. And the mayor was like, you are absolutely right. That makes 0 sense. And it is not going to help. And it's a terrible idea. And I was like, what can I do? And he's like, go to the meetings, do the protests, but you got to contact your state, the state. And so the fact that Ocala is dealing with it is just,
I'm going to tell you to do it. I'm going to tell you, they were proposing after Irma, when remember all the traffic jams, people running out of gas, being stuck on the roads, getting out of the way of Irma when it came through the hurricane?
Yeah.
Well, then they proposed having an emergency route, which would, by the way, go through our current farm.
No.
And, 4-lane highway, same thing as you're talking about. And they fought it. Everybody fought it for years and won. It's been shelved. So fight it. You can win that.
It has been fought. It was going to be a mile to the east of me, and everybody fought it. And they're like, "You're right.
Move it over Jamie's house.
Let's move it over Jamie's house." And they're like, it would displace less residents if it was where I live, because if they put it closer to the lake, it displaces, or closer to the city. And I'm like, there's a reason that there's less people that live here, because we want less people around. Like we don't. It's so infuriating. So the fact that Ocala is dealing. I'm fighting. I'm going to the elementary school meeting with I'm gonna Field of Dreams, where they go and they protest the book burning. I'm going.
Good. I mean, it worked here so far, but who knows? That could change. But we won the battle so far.
It's just infuriating to just know your voice is not being heard. It's like all the times we protested Mustangs getting rounded up, certain groups, and it just doesn't seem to matter. I just want something I do to matter.
Well, and people all over the country are feeling that way about their farmlands and everything that's happening now. So, yeah, that's the only thing we can do. But you know what? Go out and do it. I'm glad you're getting involved.
I don't get involved in politics, but when it's talking about coming through my front door, good Lord.
Yeah, you can make it into a truck stop and make money.
Yeah, great. Chad and I are like, what are we going to do if this happens? I mean, you just can't plan. You can't.
Well, the problem is, too, either if your property's not directly in the turnpike lane, and just it's next door, your property value just went to crap.
I know.
You can't sell it for anything.
But we can't sell it now.
No, because it's in the proposed area. So
we're in limbo forever until they figure this out. And so basically it's like, well, I need a new fence put up. Chad's like, I'm not going to put up a new fence because why would, it's that kind of thing.
But the only thing about that is this one, like the turnpike, the highway they were talking about here, it was proposed to be started in 2050. So you have to look at that too. Sometimes these things are so far out that, it's not a concern yet when it comes to putting a fence up, because you'll be there another 20 years.
But someday when I retire, I would like to sell this beautiful piece of property that we have created.
I'm not arguing with you.
I'll let you guys know Wednesday night how the meeting goes, because I'm going to, do you know what I did? I planted bat boxes all over the farm and bought this attractant, because there's one type of bat that is in Oklahoma that is actually protected. So I was like, okay, I need to get the bats in here, and I will be that crazy one chained to a tree. I don't care.
Can I send you some gopher turtles? I'll send you some gopher turtles.
No, thank you. All good.
Daily Winnie time. We have no birthdays today, but we do have a new horse, and that's Lori from Florida, has a new horse named Rosie. Apparently she came home over the weekend, and she's going to be a buddy for her mare Daisy. Rosie and Daisy, that's perfect. She said she's cute as a button and had not the kindest hands in the past, so she has a lot of work to do to gain her trust. She said currently she's not interested in being caught unless it's dinner time. Well, I got to tell you, Lori, I'm not either. So also a big congratulations to Dr. Temple Grandin on being honored as one of USA Today's 2025 Women of the Year. So
amazing.
Good for her. She certainly deserves that.
And hey, Lori, you talked about your horse not coming, Rosie not coming up unless it's feeding time. For the very first time yesterday, Carl came in for food. Like he usually, like we described the other day, he just slept through it. He was like, whatever, I don't care. Now he came up. I mean, he does eat like 4 teaspoonfuls because he's not skinny, but it will happen. It will where you can do it. My daily weenie goes out to who is actually going to be the next farm boy, but she's a girl. So a farm girl. I got to come up with a name for Carter Jackson. When I had surgery, she is a higher level eventer and lives up in Tulsa. And I sent Ace up to her just to keep him legged up while I was unable to ride. And for the first time yesterday, I rode Ace and it was so nice. So I've been dreading getting on him before I was going to say, I was like, how do I get on this young thoroughbred who is seriously excitable in the cold? How do I get on him after he's been off for 2.5 months? Well, she kept him legged up and I hopped on yesterday and just had an absolutely lovely, delightful ride. And I just wanted to give her a little shout out. Not that she listens to the show. And I remember, I don't let people that I know listen to this, so she'll never hear this, but thanks, Carter.
Let's talk a little bit about WERM flooring. You know, they also do roofs. If you have a trailer roof or a barn roof, an RV roof, anything like that. We all know that roofs leak on horse trailers and especially RVs. They're not made the best, but WERM flooring has a revolutionary new silicone-based coating that creates a barrier against the heat and wet. I know a couple of people who have done this on their RVs, and there's basically no maintenance then from then on. It seals your roof, stops leaks, and it also reflects UV rays, so it keeps your trailer 60 degrees cooler on a blistering day, which if you live in the South is very important. And it's applied. It's a flawless finish. It's $7.50 per square foot. And you can find it by going to wormflooring.com to find a dealer near you. That's wormflooring.com to find a dealer near you. Well, we have Lisa Wysocky with us. You all know Lisa. She's here on a regular basis, and we all know that she's scouting in Lexington, Kentucky. Now, is it a movie or a TV show? I'm confused.
Well, we're confused too.
Okay.
So we're not that confused. We're going for a movie first. This is Cindy. I'm the executive producer, and we just love it out here, and we're having fun. We're in Wilmore, actually, which is right next to Lexington.
Yeah, I know where Wilmore is.
So the plan is we're doing a movie on the opium equation, and if it does well, and we get a lot of listeners or a lot of viewers, I guess, we are going to go to series. So that would be super fun to do that, and we've been talking about doing something special, maybe for some of the auditors or people who maybe want to get a little bit more on the inside track for the movie.
Yay!
So we don't know what that is yet, but we'll do something fun.
Now, am I right, Lisa? Is this the only book that Horses in the Morning was not in?
Yes.
Yes. But you know what? We've just decided that, when Cap's in the barn, she's listening to Horses in the Morning.
Oh, that's perfect. I love that. Yeah.
So I was looking, Lisa, at some of the pictures you posted, and it's so funny to think about what you see in your head versus what is in your head. Looking at scouting locations, to me, I was like, obviously they should go to the barn I grew up in, because that is what I visualized when I was reading the book. And it's so cool how something that is so personal to you immediately becomes personal to your readers, because I visualized something very special to me when I was thinking about Cat's Barn. So if you need the address, let me know. I'll send you down.
Okay.
Well, how's it been going? Have you been finding what you're looking for out there in Lexington?
Well, I have to tell you, Glenn, this is Cindy again, and I'm also the publisher of Lisa's book. And I have to tell you, all 5 of us are here. We've got, Mike, who's handling distribution, and Brad, who's our director, Julie, who's our producer. And all of us. You're never stuck on one thing, but all of us, when we saw a first location, which will be unnamed, we all went, oh my gosh, that's exactly what we pictured. And Lisa, why don't you talk about your team that you share images with?
Yeah. So,
going back to your point, Jamie, we all walked into this place where we're staying at this Airbnb, and we said, "This is Kat's house. This is it." It just looks like Kat's house. And I've been posting some stuff on the Auditor page, and particularly of a barn, and everybody's like, "Yeah, that's
I
it.
love
That's
that
it,"
barn, by the way. That's just
Isn't that
classic,
cool?
classic middle of the country barn.
But that's the chance that you take, is that Jamie has a vision of the barn that maybe isn't going to be, what other people are looking at. And then we're talking about a specific person to cast as Kat, and maybe she's not going to look like people think she's going to look, and so, but I think it opens it up for some interesting discussion.
So she doesn't
I
look
always
like
thought
Kaylee
Kat-
Kuko then? She's out.
Not going to be Kaylee
Yeah, okay,
Kuko.
all right, just checking.
When I visualize Kat, I visualize Lisa. So
You never told me that.
I see you doing it. I'm like, I'm in your.
Yeah, I did too. At first. Oh, actually, I kind of, because Lisa out in the sunlight can have a little bit of red hair, and so I pictured her as more of a redhead, actually. But I don't know.
Oh,
It's
how
up for
funny.
discussion and debate.
Yeah.
The redhead vibe to me.
So
Yeah,
what's the
it's-
hardest part of doing this part? Is it the casting of the cast? Is it the finding of the horses, the right horses?
So-
Is it the barns?
No,
Is it
so Glenn,
location?
I want to. Oh,
Glenn, I put something out on Lexington area questions on the Facebook page that we were coming up, and we were looking for, a specific thing. We were looking for a tobacco barn, and I got 258 emails.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And people pitched me everything from their backyard shed to a warehouse. Hey, I got this great warehouse, and we got trucks in and out all the time. Maybe that'll serve as your barn. And people just want their building or their dog or their horse to be in a movie, and weeding all of that down has been really tough.
They want to be in the next Yellowstone. Everybody wants to
They
be in the
do.
next Yellowstone.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah. Or the next Heartland, which is going 20 seasons or something.
18.
18.
Oh, he
Yeah.
knew exactly how many seasons are in.
Yeah.
He's
right.
a fan. He's an Amy fan.
Yeah, and Glenn, I know we talked about Brad Pitt playing you.
I know.
But you know what? You're not in this book. So,
Sorry, dude. You're out.
And I had talked to Brad about it too, and he was so game for it.
I know.
I'm disappointed.
Yes, he was very upset he couldn't do this.
I know. So sorry to disappoint you, but maybe the next one.
To me, it sounds like you guys, you're kind of working, but it just sounds like you're having a whole lot
Yeah,
of fun.
it
And
sounds
that's what
like
it's
to me
all
too.
about.
We are. Yeah.
So, Jamie, I think that's what I would say is the biggest challenge is we've probably got about 6 different conversations going on between 5 people. So all at the same time.
Yeah.
But what that tells me is, and you're going to hear an ambulance in the background here, but it just tells me that we're getting along. And that's so important because when you're establishing, a team, you want to wake up in the morning and not dread grabbing coffee with somebody that you just, don't want to talk to. So,
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, to enjoy every second of it so it doesn't feel like work. It feels like play.
Yes.
Oh, and I have to talk about coffee. Oh my gosh. Okay, Mike, you need to talk about your coffee. Oh, we're not going to do that yet. Okay, never mind.
We're not ready.
Never mind.
It's a teaser. Let Cindy say it.
It's a teaser. So we're hoping to film in the fall, hoping that it's out maybe this time next year.
Oh, wow.
So takes a long time, and so I'm just learning so much from everybody. It's been so much fun just that I'm included in a lot of it. In some of the earlier times when we'd had it under option, I would not have been as included as much as this, and so it's been really fun.
We're glad you are included. One is we've known you forever, and we know a little bit about horses, and we know Lisa is an expert at this stuff, and we know there won't be one fake Whinnie in the entire movie, because if there is, the horse people are out.
We talked about that. Seriously, we talked about that last night.
Okay.
Last night, I said no fake Whinnie.
No. They're winning when their mouth isn't even open. I mean, it's
You know what? Of all the generous, kind humans in the world, I can't think of one that deserves a break like this more than you, Lisa. And I'm so excited for you, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm just so happy for you.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Well, have fun, and we're looking forward to hearing everything as we go. And if we can help in any way, you let us know.
We will. Thank you. I'll talk to Brad Pitt. I'll do that.
All right. I already got that
Okay.
covered. We're good. We're good.
Glenn, you take Friday off so I can host the next show, or take Wednesday off so I can host the next one with Lisa so I can get all the dirt. Okay, so we have
There
more
we
time.
go. There we
Thanks,
go. We'll do
guys.
it.
Well, they're having too much fun.
I was going to say, I'd say have fun, but they don't need that well-wishing.
Oh, my God. They're having a great time. I'm so happy to hear that, though, aren't you?
Yes, just in case listeners don't know, Lisa Wysocky is probably the most selfless, generous human I have ever been lucky enough to meet. And just to have something like this and just to hear the joy in her voice, because she works so hard feeding the homeless, taking care of animals, riding, therapeutic riding, like she's just the most amazing human. And just to hear the spark and the joy in her voice just made my day. I'm gonna have a good day because of this.
Yeah, I know. I absolutely agree. I mean, she does, obviously we know about Colby's Army, and Colby's Army is the therapeutic riding center that she runs, which Jennifer and I were she was kind enough to invite us there, and we stayed there for several days. But, a lot of people don't know about the work she does with the homeless in Nashville and feeding them. And I mean, they do that every week where they feed the homeless and provide them with all kinds of necessities. And she runs that all out of Colby's Army. Yeah. So you're right. She is one of the most selfless people. She comes on this show anytime we ask with 2 minutes warning. I mean, she has a life, and yet she still does it for others. That's her whole life is about doing it for others. I just
love her.
Yeah. So good luck, guys. And I'm so glad she has such a cool support team around this whole movie idea.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And had we ever met the producer before?
I don't think so.
She sounded familiar. I didn't know if we had her on for a different movie or not, but maybe we ought to find out. All right. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us. We'll keep in touch with her as she makes her rounds through Lexington. I'm so excited it's being done there, too. Well, we're thrilled to welcome a new sponsor to the show, and this one won't cost you any money. Its sole purpose is to save you money. And I have Tanis with me, and she is Senior Sales Manager of Equine Discounts. Tell us, what is Equine Discounts?
The Equine Discounts program is something that is put together that any horse-loving person that has an active equine membership can utilize our partnerships with major brands such as John Deere, Sherwin-Williams, Big Ass Fans, Office Depot, Farmers Insurance, and potentially others that can help save money once you get set up with our program.
And, the part that I didn't know before I started talking to you guys is I always thought there was just a couple associations, and if you didn't belong to those associations, you weren't qualified. But that's not true, right?
No, and that's the great part. So we actually honor any equine association, large or small. So it can be a local, state, national. Of course, we have our large national partners such as AQHA, USEF, USTA, USPA. The list goes on. But as long as you are a dues-paying member of any equine association, just reach out to us and we'll get you verified.
And that includes breed associations and all of them?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's great. See, that's the part I didn't know. And that's the part I really wanted to get the word out about, because the discounts you can get on some of these things are really good. John Deere, for example, talk about that.
So for John Deere, depending on how you qualify, the discounts can go up to 28% off. And it's a variety of equipment. It's all based on what you're purchasing, and that's how the discounts vary, but it could be anything from a lawn tractor to a large hay baler, anything in between. We actually have a very wide variety of units that we discount on.
And as you said, too, I mean, other companies out there, Big Ass Fans and Farmers Insurance, and there's a list on the website where they can go to find that. But the cool part is there's no membership fee here, right?
No, as long as you are in good standing with your equine association that you may be already a part of, or if you aren't and you still have horses, you can choose whichever one you would like to join, and then you are automatically able to use our discounts.
And how do you get the discount when you buy something? Is there like a code, or I realize you have to be signed up first, but how does it work?
So the easiest thing is to actually go to our website. We'll list all the different ways to reach out to us, equinediscounts.com. There is a phone number. You can text us. You can also email us. Just reach out to us. We'll be able to get you set up based on the discount that you're interested in. And there are different sales reps that cover different parts of the country and Canada that will be able to pass on the information for you.
So there's no membership fee other than the membership you already have with your association, your equine association, whatever that might be. And all they really have to do is go to the website, give you guys a call to get set up, and, especially do it if you're looking at making purchases on any of the things listed on the website.
Yes, exactly. And you can use them as many times as you want. It's not just a one-time use. And a lot of the other discounts can be saved to your current accounts, like with Sherwin-Williams or Farmers Insurance, for you to continue being able to use it.
And Tanis, I also understand that a percentage of every sale goes back into the industry. How does that work?
Yes, it does. So when you call in to get set up for our discounts, for example, if you are an AQHA member, we would tag that in our system. And once you complete your transaction, that sale will actually proceed to AQHA specifically. So that can happen through all the different national partners that we have.
Oh, that's great. Sounds terrific. What's the website again?
Equinediscounts.com.
Well, we next have Summer Redden on with us. She is involved with a TV show that's now in its second season. By the way, congratulations on making second season. That's always a big jump. And it's called Riding with the Reddens. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on here.
You're in my neighborhood. I live near Ocala, and you're down this way, right?
I am. I go between Ocala and Chattanooga, Tennessee is our home base.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. And have you been a horse person, or was this something that started with the kids?
No, I am not I still would say I'm still not a horse person, although now we have lots of horses. But this is something that started during 2020 when my daughter and my nieces were sort of like, what do we do since everything was on hold? And they said, we love horses. Can we please take horse lessons? And I thought, oh, yeah, this will be great. Let's do it.
Yeah, what could
everybody
possibly
said,
go wrong?
oh, yeah, I should have listened to everyone telling me, don't do the horses. You're gonna. And I didn't listen. And now we own 6 horses. So it's been, of course.
Of course, and 4 years or 5 years, by the way. So
Yes.
obviously you have a daughter, Emma, and a niece, Abigail. And
Yes.
And at what point did this idea of a TV show come into the picture? Because that's not something everybody does.
No, my daughter Emma has been in acting for many years, and she loves theater, and she does some film and TV. And so this was kind of a thought I had in my head. I thought, when they started to ride horses, I thought, what do we even do? I have no idea. So I started watching YouTube videos. I tried to see, buying horses. This whole world opened up to me. And I thought this would be great to document our family and see how, let other people see what it takes to actually get into this whole world of eventing, because the girls, they all are eventers, and that's what they've kind of chosen is what they love, the 3-phase eventing. And so that's sort of what it kind of developed to. And we partnered with Horse and Country, and it's been a great experience. And we've had a lot of positive responses, a lot of other moms, a lot of other kids that are like, wow, I didn't know it was that hard. I can't believe all these things you have to do, because we didn't know when we started.
My wife's an eventer and Jamie's an eventer. So we know a little bit about eventing. We also know what it's like to watch eventers. And as a mom, watching, in this case, your daughter and your niece ride around a cross-country course at full tilt, it's a little nerve-wracking for the loved ones too.
Yes, it is. It's extremely scary to me. And I'll be honest, I'm still afraid of the horses. I am much more comfortable now. I can lead them around. I'll hold the horses. I'll feed. I'll do a lot more than I did to start with, but I do not ride. And I still have a very healthy fear. And I have great respect for anyone who gets on a horse. I'm so in awe every time I see someone ride, because it's scary to me, especially with the venting too, and you're going over these huge jumps and you're out in the woods, and it can be very nerve-wracking, to say the least, to be like, whoa, where are they? What's happening? And we try to be as safe as possible, and still you're dealing with an animal that has its own mind most of the time. So it's a tough thing to watch sometimes as a mom.
Well, that gets easier a little bit, but it never goes away. It never
Right.
goes away. You take it from
No.
this horse husband whose wife was a fox hunter and an eventer. So two of the most dangerous things. It's like,
Yes.
so how has filming changed things?
Filming has been very interesting. First of all, just having cameras around horses brings in a whole nother aspect, because horses are like, what are you doing? And all horses react differently to everything. We have one horse, Tap, who my niece kind of brought him up, and he did great this past year. He even made it to the American Eventing Championship, which was
Wow.
phenomenal for this horse. And so he's afraid of a flag waving in the wind. So having a camera around him, we just were very, very safety conscious about everything. And it just brought a new kind of like, and honestly, a little bit more stress, just because now I'm thinking about the filming and also thinking about the girls riding. My other niece also started competing professionally, Annie. And so all three girls were riding this past season, and they all three made it to the American Eventing Championship. And that's kind of what season 2 is focused about. And it was amazing. It was great to have it on video, great to have it where we have the memories too, and also people can see, hey, this is the work you really got to put in to make it this far.
And it is a lot of work. And people don't, people only see the part where you're riding at the championships, right? They don't see the 1,000 hours to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And all the little details and the expense and everything else, right, that it takes.
That's right.
It takes to do
Right.
it. Who have you worked with? How old are the girls, by the way?
The girls now, my daughter's 18, my niece Annie is 18, and Abigail is 15.
Okay, so they're a little bit older. And so who have they worked with? Who has been their coach?
Well, right now they are working with Jen and Kyle Carter.
Oh, yeah.
And based out of Citrus, Florida, which I think you guys have talked to before.
Yeah.
They are working exclusively with them, and it has been just amazing to see the progression. And that's the great thing about eventing is like, and what I love about the Carters is they're not so much focused about, okay, what level are you riding? Because I think a lot of parents from my side are like, move your kids up the levels, get them through up. And that's never, ever been our focus. Our focus has always been to create the relationship between our riders and the horses so that they really have an understanding and can be safe. And the Carters are just amazing about that, about we're teaching you how to be an all-around really good rider. So you can jump on any horse and be a good rider, not just go up the levels with your horse. So it's been a great growing experience for the girls to be able to work with them, and we love it out there.
I rode with Kyle when I was 19.
Really?
By the way, which was like a billion years ago. Yeah.
That's how old Kyle is.
I know, right?
He hasn't changed. He hasn't changed, Jamie. He's still the same.
So do people still cry on a regular basis in his lessons?
Sometimes there are tears. I'll admit
Same
it.
guy. That's the guy. Okay.
He hasn't changed. Do you see the girls wanting to keep doing the show?
I do. I think that we've taken a little break just because it is a lot of work to film these seasons. But what we're kind of hoping is maybe to do a special this coming year that we can kind of highlight. The American Eventing Championship is in Los Angeles this year. And so we'll just see who qualifies and who actually makes it. And then we might just sort of have a special where we show, how do you get a horse from Florida to California? How does that work? Because I feel like that's something else that I'm still learning and figuring out, and that would be a great thing to document on TV.
Well, that's terrific. I'm glad you guys are doing this. One is, it's not the typical, hey, we're going to lose the farm, we have to save it, and the teenager who can't ride saves the farm by going to the championships.
After taming a wild Mustang.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. So we're so glad that it's like normal. It's like,
Yes.
it's like people go through to actually get somewhere in the eventing world. And of course, eventing is exciting anyway. So
It is so exciting.
So that's fun. Well, congratulations on what you've achieved as a mom in the eventing world. We know what that's like. So, congratulations on all of this. And I know it's hard work. I know the TV show's hard work too. So you just added complication to it. Where can people watch it?
You can go to Horse and Country TV and sign up and watch the show. There's 2 seasons on there. Our first episodes from each season are available on YouTube if you just want to check it out and see what you think.
And is that on
And
Horse
we-
and Country's YouTube?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. If you just YouTube Riding with the Reddens and it comes up.
Okay. And I wanted to
we'd be glad to watch.
Apparently, according to Ashley here, there's a promo code that Horse and Country has provided. It's HRN15, all one, no spaces, HRN15, and I'll give listeners a 15% discount on Horse and Country's annual plan. And it's valid now through March 31st. So HRN15 is the coupon code if you want to go check out this show and all the other shows that are on Horse and Country TV. Thank you for joining us, Summer. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. And I just want to say, I know you guys know about the off the track thoroughbreds because we own thoroughbreds completely. And so I just also want to bring attention to that because we love taking these horses that
all 6 of them are thoroughbreds?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
wow. That's great.
Yes.
As you know, Jamie trains off the track thoroughbreds.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. I thought she would love that too because
Good for you.
I've fallen in love with them and they're wonderful.
So Glenn, and you will love this too. I just did all the numbers, Summer, and I just trained my 180th off the track thoroughbred from the rescue.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I mean,
that is amazing.
you're not going to find a bigger thoroughbred fan. I'm so glad to know that. I mean, it's eventing for God's sake. They need to, they need the blood.
Yes, they love it.
Well, say congratulations to the girls too, and good luck.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Summer. When it comes to equine health, Cosequin Joint Health Supplement didn't just enter the arena, they built it. World-renowned riders like Philip Dutton, Will Coleman, and Julie Goodnight trust Cosequin for their horses. The high-quality, scientifically researched ingredients found in the Cosequin products support joint, digestive, hoof, and immune health, and those are the areas most impacted by performance horses. Top riders give their horses the best, and that's why, when performance matters, they choose Cosequin. With over 30 years behind the Cosequin name, you can rely on Cosequin products for when performance matters. To learn more, visit Cosequin.com. That's COSEQUIN.com.
It's time for the weekly look at your Equestrian First World problems. This ought to be good.
That's right. It's time for your Equestrian First World problems. These are when on Sunday I go onto the Auditor Facebook page and I ask people to just submit their typical problems like release. It's cathartic. It's good for you. And they do. And so if you want to participate in this segment, you need to become an auditor. So, Glenn, how do they do that?
Just go to horseradionetwork.com, scroll down to the middle of the page, you'll see the auditor banner, and you can donate as little as $3 a month to become an auditor.
And there's a lot of benefits besides just this. But let's start with Debbie because hers is a bit long. But she said, I had a great session with a professional bit fitter this weekend, and my horse was amazing considering I hadn't ridden since before Thanksgiving. But now I'm so sore I can barely walk, and I have to wait a week for my new fancy bit.
Only one?
I know, right?
I was expecting 10.
Carrie says, I have a lesson this weekend, but I have let my horse go mostly feral this winter, so better buckle up. And that's why I sent my horse to Carter Jackson, so I didn't have to buckle up. Well, Anne sent the next one in, and this one is just BS. Okay, I just don't appreciate this because my father did the same thing during Kentucky weekend. She said, I have to skip my riding lesson next Saturday because my brother's like getting married and I won't have time to get ready and go to the wedding and ride in my lesson at the same time. Family.
Oh, the yours was worse. It was Kentucky.
I mean, and I knew it wasn't going to last. And it lasted like 5 minutes. And so I wore black and black sunglasses to the wedding.
To the wedding.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Her name started with a D, but we just call her Devil. That's my brother's name. We still call her that. Okay. Moving on.
I'm glad your family doesn't listen.
Jessica says, okay, don't judge. If you start a sentence like that, I am going to judge. Yep. Okay, don't judge. I use a laundry app that's like Uber for laundry when our laundry gets catastrophically backed up. And it's cool because you post your loads you need done and someone on the other end claims it and will come pick it up. And the next day they return it washed and folded or on hangers. It's super great. I posted it in the app over the weekend because our laundry situation got pretty out of control. Read that as bad marriage threatening level bad. I couldn't get anyone in the app to claim my laundry. So I spent all weekend doing laundry. Okay.
Who knew that was a thing? Where does she live?
The greatest thing ever. She's in Florida. Okay. But they might have it for you. But let me just, Jessica, if you could please send me that and tell me if they pick up in Norman, Oklahoma, because that sounds like when I lived in Atlanta, I just took my laundry to this like lady and she washed it and folded it and put it in bags. It was the greatest thing ever. I still don't do laundry. Chad does it because otherwise you won't have clean clothes.
I've never heard of that. It's like an Uber for laundry.
Okay, that's the greatest thing ever. And we all need, these are all horse girls. Why would we judge? We think you're the smartest person in the world.
I didn't know about it.
Katie says, finished my new dream barn and my tack room is too big. So obviously I need new tack, more tack, and more horses. I mean, Katie, obviously, like if you have a 10 stall barn, you have to have at least 11 horses. Sharon says, I drove one of my horses on Friday and Sunday, and I rode the other one in a mounted archery clinic on Saturday. I want to be your friend. It was beautiful weather all 3 days. I just wish I had more energy and time to do all the horsey things all the time. Oh my God, I feel that.
That's what retirement's for.
Why am I so tired?
Then you don't have the energy. You're saying.
So tired.
Why aren't we retired? I always said we should be retired from 20 to 30 and then just work the rest of our lives.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Just, give me like having a farm. If I had been able to afford this farm when I was 20, do you know the productivity? I said 180.
Oh, you would have been at Kentucky riding.
We'd have 900 by now. Yeah. Shelly says, I fell at the barn, but I wasn't riding. No, I slipped in the mud. But that's not the worst part. Then the worst part is I tipped over an entire full wheelbarrow.
Oh, that is the worst part. We've all done it too. We've all tipped over the wheelbarrow.
Amanda says, I let a friend ride my horse yesterday, and she was a perfect angel. Not one spook. Apparently, she only spooks for her mother. I love it. Okay, Kathleen, this is fantastic. The wind was so strong yesterday that my poor gelding peed all over his legs. Dude definitely needs to figure out which way the wind is blowing. Okay, so he urinated and the wind carried it back and whipped him in the legs with the pee. That sucks.
Why do we have horses? They're disgusting.
They're disgusting. I love it. And finally, we're going to go with Peggy. Oh, Peggy, bless your heart. She says, only real problems at this time, unfortunately. And I don't usually do real problems, but we thought this warranted a discussion. She said, having to dodge bullets on her own property wasn't on my bingo card for 2025. Glenn, explain what happened to poor Peggy.
I was kind of following poor Peggy and her husband this whole time. It happened last week, and she gave me permission to talk about it. So they were out feeding their horses at like 5 o'clock at night, and they live on a dirt road. So it's not like they live on off a turnpike like you're gonna. They live on a dirt.
I'm not gonna.
They live on a dirt road. And all of a sudden, this guy drives by and starts shooting. Now, they are out in the field feeding the horses. So they're standing beside a couple of the horses. There's like 10, 11 horses out in the field. And this guy does a drive-by and starts shooting at them. 11 shots were fired from a 9mm pistol, and the guy was aiming. And actually hit two of the horses that were a yard from Peggy and her husband.
My God.
The two horses that got hit were the closest ones to them. Now the horses are okay, by the way. I'll tell you about that. But so they managed to get a description of the car, and I don't know that I could have at the time. It was like 150 yards away. The guy was shooting a pistol, which is probably why he didn't hit more of the horses, because he did fire 11 shots. But they managed to get a description, got it out. It was shared 2,000 times, and the police found the guy.
Oh, wow.
So they arrested him. He didn't even get bail, apparently, because it's like, attempted whatever. So he didn't get bail. And you see, they showed his mugshot, and he looked like the guy who would shoot out at a car at a bunch of horses. He looked like that guy who had probably stoned on something, and he was probably on drugs or whatever. They don't know the guy. It was just a random thing. And talk about terrifying.
Oh, my God.
But apparently, obviously, she got the vet out right away. The vet came out, and by a miracle, nothing vital was hit on either of the horses. They're both doing fine. The one was hit, I guess, in just above the right front knee, and it went right through and just did some muscle damage. Missed all the bone and everything. And the other one suffered a fractured spinal, something near the spinal cord.
Basically, it looks like the bullet is lodged in the withers, according to the picture.
And and the vet said, well, we'll probably do more damage if we try and get it out. At this point, it's not hurting the horse at all. It's not a move. It's not in where stuff moves to, that would hurt the spinal column or whatever. And so they recommended leaving it in, and they're going to leave it in, and then in a little while do more x-rays and see what's happened to it. And then eventually might take it out or might not. I know humans, they do that too. But they're both been getting pain meds, and they got a tetanus booster, and apparently they're both fine. I mean, this is just a miracle all around that it wasn't worse. But how terrifying is all of that? It's just awful.
Well, I saw that they said on Saturday, the sheriff's office charged 28-year-old Stephen Robertson with 2 counts of killing or disabling livestock, 2 counts of reckless endangerment, and being in a public place under the influence. Now, what I think is it should be attempted murder.
Yeah, right. Because they were in the field.
Yeah. And maybe reckless endangerment is kind of the same thing. I don't know enough about the law to be able to say how severe that is. But he was shooting at humans.
And it's not like it was one shot. He shot his whole round of 11, and he was aiming. That was the other thing. It wasn't this random, I'm just going to, shoot at the sky kind of thing.
Oh, I'm so glad they were able to get the information. I witnessed a hit and run here in Norman in a parking lot. And when the guy backed into somebody, and the other car was like totaled, and the guy in the driver's seat took off, like in the car that hit him. And I jumped out and I got the license plate number. And when the police came, they were like, did anybody see anything? I was like, I got their license plate number. He was like, are you serious? Nobody ever does that. Oh my God. I was like, yeah, here it is right here. I even took a picture of the car.
Of course
because we can. It's right there. You got a computer in your pocket, but he apparently said nobody ever does that anymore. And
they're in shock.
It was in shock, but I was like, that son of a bitch is not getting away with that. Take pictures. So anyway, just good for them for stepping up and stepping in, and even in that panic-stricken moment, being able to catch this guy. And I hope he goes to jail.
Don't fool around with tough horse people. Horse people are tough. They're not going to put up with your crap.
Don't mess with the wrong people. We don't have kittens in the field.
That's true. I mean, they're not going to put up with that. Oh, how terrifying! Yeah. Well, I'm glad everybody's okay. And there's a story to end the show.
Oh my God, how intense! Well. It's been a journey today, highs and lows, but that's a Monday and this is real life. And everybody have a wonderful day. It is so beautiful. And my farrier is coming in a minute. So I got to get everybody in and wash some mud off some feet.
Do we still have time for a quick post show?
Yeah.
It won't take long. I also am going to end with the meme for today. You remember last week and when we talked about the horse husband thing, which was very popular, I said the thing I hate the most is the damn slidey-inny buckles on blankets. I don't know what to call them.
Slidey-inny buckles.
Yeah,
we know exactly
the twisty, slidey-inny ones. Well, I found a meme, and I found out I'm not the only one that hates those things with a passion. If I'm ever admitted into a mental hospital because I suffered a psychotic break, it will be because of one of these, and it's a picture of one of those buckles.
Slidey-inny buckle things.
Slidey-inny buckles.
Slidey-inny twisty buckle things.
I'm not the only one.
Twisty, slidey-inny buckle things. I wonder if that's written down. I'm going to look at it. What are they called?
I don't know. dumbass buckles.
Twisty slidey buckles. Spade it or down, everybody.